Thanks again, Austin. So let me just say, just on the safety front, that it's a horrific thing to have to talk about, casualties, fatalities, and so forth. Every country has fatalities. Every country has some sort of, whatever, violent. I just was in Austin. I arrived in Austin the day they got the bombers there. People were getting blown up and so forth. So crazy. France has lost over 200 people to terrorism in the last couple of years. Jordan is an extremely safe place compared to Paris, London, etc. In terms of the body bag count. Okay, I always come down to the body bag count. Look at the body bag count and say, let's see, how are we doing, right? And Jordan's doing very, very good. What is dangerous about Jordan? The Syrian border, the Iraqi border, and sort of the Wild West of the South, which is sort of no man's. We don't go there. We don't go there. And there are areas that are kind of just, the Sinai Peninsula, which borders, is like occasionally rockets will come out of the Sinai Peninsula and fall into the Gulf of Aqaba, and so forth, where you'll be snorkeling. They don't make it all the way across to where we're snorkeling. They're targeting the Israeli city of Eilat, but it's really close, right? And so there are areas that we just stay away. There are areas we stay away from. We had a number of people who had dinner invitations on the Syrian border, and there probably hadn't been any ordnance falling over the border for months. But just one of the deals we made is with BYU is going to put their little blue sticker on your forehead, let you go, give you credit and so forth, and you say, all right, on my honor, I will not go near the Syrian border, I will not go near the Iraqi border, I will stay out of, I won't go wandering around hinterland of southern Jordan. Anyway, so Jaron, did you ever feel unsafe?
No.
Did you know anybody who ever felt unsafe, other than the understandable, didn't we talk about the young woman who went upstairs in the, who went upstairs in the restaurant, she was the only one there, and that was, that was just a dumb deal. She shouldn't have gone up there alone, and people should have followed her up, and it's not like she was yards away from her friends. She could have hollered and been fine, right? But it was some nervous moments for her. So other than those kinds of nervous moments, are you familiar if anybody felt? I think Brooke had somebody fall over once, and this is not like, fall over with the big van and net and that sort of thing. We're just talking about somebody was walking around following her and made her nervous. So yes, has that ever happened to you here in the United States? I hope not, but
I don't think that I saw anyone in situations that were more dangerous than what they experience in daily life in the U.S.
I see women on the bike trail, the bike trail, all the time, and I get way more scared than I get because my neighbor was assaulted on the bike trail. Okay, and so anyway, so it's stick together in groups, play by the rules. We mean play by the rules, and nobody has ever been hurt. Okay, who gets hurt? Let me tell you who gets hurt. Okay, I have been around people getting hurt. How do they get hurt? Well, we had a group of us tried to run across a road in Cairo, and not a good plan. Okay? Cairo's a crazy place. Anyway, one of the last women in the group got hit by a motorcycle. And she was not hurt as much as the driver of the motorcycle was hurt, trying to avoid getting hurt. And it was a classic example of Arab culture. People came, put the guy back on his motorcycle, says, "Oh, you're fine, go, you're fine." You know, the guy was like almost barely conscious. "Yeah, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. Just you know, malish, yalla." Anyway, so this kid, one of our students, to go to the Marshall Caves in Israel, Palestine. And I give everybody this charge. Okay, we don't want anybody getting hurt, right? So please be careful. Got your flashlights? Yeah, okay. So this guy, he and his friends run down into, this is a series of caves where there are like huge, well, maybe not huge, because there are huge, and these were not huge, but there were a series of cisterns, okay, water storage, and so you'd come along and come to a cistern, and there would be an opening to let down your bucket or whatever, right? And there's a trail that goes around, and so you just, it's a series of, you go around the cistern. Well, from the aerial view, here you go, and you can look through this open spot here to the trail over here, and you can see your friend over here with their flashlight, and it looks like, oh, the trail goes right there, right? But it's like one of those Bugs Bunny type cartoon things, right? You run out into open air, all of a sudden realize, oops, and so his name was Matthew. He sees somebody up here, does not personally have a flashlight, didn't know that, running down to catch up with his friends, falls about 10 or 12 feet or something like that, head first onto the rock below, and that's where we found him. 90 seconds. I've been sitting outside the caves. They go in. 90 seconds later, somebody comes running back at maybe 2 minutes, tops. Somebody's running out, Matt's hurt. I'm like, it's not possible. We just talked about be careful, right? 90 seconds, it can't. I thought it was an April Fool's joke, right? I thought, okay, funny thing. I said, no, Matt's hurt, you gotta come. So we go. We climb down into the belly, and what do we find? Shine a flashlight in it, and it looks like blood is streaming from his ear. Everybody who knows, war movies knows that blood streaming through your ear is you're gone, right? You all know that, right? Your skull is cracked and you're gone, and or on your way out. So, anyway, fortunately, there was an Israeli military outpost that we had passed not far away, so we sent the driver to go down. This was another cultural experience, which I will skip for the moment. Anyway, these Israeli medics come, and they have a stretcher, and we strap Matt to the stretcher, and of course he has to be the biggest guy on the program, right? And we had to carry him up through places where big guys in stretchers aren't supposed to go stretched out, So we're turning him on his side. If he's got a neck injury, man, he is toast. Anyway, so they brought him out. He's unconscious. Brought him out, put him in this military ambulance, which is basically a truck, okay, with a cover on the back. And the medic says to me, "Don't let his head move." And then we go down this washboard road. And I'm holding his head.
It's only funny now.
And I'm just asking you, I really don't want to do this again, okay? So, and you'll think, ha 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 ha, that won't happen to me. But let me just put it this way, Matt is not the same as he was when he went on the program. He's still a very bright guy. He's a bright guy without many boundaries, okay? He's got a few things dislodged. You bump certain parts of your head, and you embarrass your family a lot, okay? And Matt, he's a person who then said things you shouldn't say things, said some sorts of things. Anyway, wonderful kid. Love this. He's like a member of the family. Ought to be. I've done that for my own children. Anyway, but let me tell you more of the story. So we get to Ashkelon, emergency room, and they said, we really can't do anything here. He comes to in Ashkelon and he's speaking Arabic. He's like, who are these? Are these Israelis? I'm like, oh, shut up now. Anyway, so they put us in a real ambulance with a real doctor. They took us to Jerusalem. When we got to the hospital in Jerusalem, trauma centers in Jerusalem. And a chopper had just come in. This was in 1989 during the Intifada. And a chopper had just come in, and I walked a gurney past me with a poor Palestinian boy on this young man with a hole in his head, bullet hole in his head, past me, and an Israeli medic was attending and weeping at the pointlessness of this young man apparently dying. I don't know, but he did not look like it was going to go well for him. And so anyway, yeah. Let me tell you another stupid thing. I saw one of our students do. 1989, you hear, Jared will say, it's like, if I hear 1989 one more time, I'm going to throw up. Anyway, I'll try and keep the back in 89 stories to a minimum. So, 89 was we figured out what you shouldn't do. There are all kinds of rules at Jerusalem Center that were specifically because of us. It was like that. It was every year. It wasn't just the Arabic program. It was all the the new students in the Jerusalem Center just paving the way for you to be safer. And like for example, the young woman, the violinist, who left her ring finger on the fence she was told not to cross over, climb over. Yeah, she left her finger on the fence. And we got it back. And we got it reattached. Fortunately. Anyway. So those are the real dangers, right? It is falling off of every year. We have somebody who has to show off their rock climbing skills. And then somebody who wants to be as macho as that young lady, young man. And they don't have those skills, right? And that doesn't work out well. So this is like one of the things that we have to ask you. Say you just gotta, no matter how wild your life is here, no matter how lucky you are in terms of, oh yeah, I can almost always jump across these chasms, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how lucky you are here. We're asking you to just rein it in for the sake of everybody, future students, because the administration they have like know when you cross a line. And we hear about it. We're here like, did you know your student? No, we didn't know our student did that. How did you know we did that? Seriously, I'm just saying, it's, and you get to where you're kind of frustrated with, you know, something, Dear John, ABCD readings, something will keep you, you know, roommate who's driving you crazy or whatever, and it seems like, you know, just once won't matter. Anyway, so just begging you, okay? For 4 months, you're just angelic. You're just angelic for 4 months. And yes.
On a happier note, did you say we go scuba diving?
Scuba diving.
Yeah.
It's not scuba diving. No scuba diving, snorkeling. Snorkeling with some really nice fish. There's some-
They're also.
I mean, this is the Red Sea, right? This is like prime snorkeling area.
If we're scuba certified, are we allowed to scuba dive or not?
They won't let us scuba dive. And we don't have enough time to really to warrant it. And it's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's yeah. So anyway, so I was going to tell you the other story about the guy who hit his head, the woman who lost her finger. Woman crossing another woman. I hate this women. Well, it's we were just talking the other day in conference. He said that the women were dropping dead, like, you know, there goes 1, 2, and we knew anyway. These women would get cancer, and then it was like, yeah, and then she died. But her family lived happily ever after, and they'll see her again. Anyway.
Oh, you mean like in the stories?
You watched the same conference. You did.
In this.
Anyway.
Should have been. There's like 3 or 4 stories.
So this woman was crossing the road in Cairo and got hit. And it broke, the blow broke pretty much every bone in her body. And amazingly, she survived. And I'm sure she wished she did it many times. And had to be, I mean, after a long period of stabilization, had to be medevaced, and I'm sure it was years of rehabilitation. So traffic accidents are that is the #1 cause of death in Jordan, and you don't, I mean, you don't want to go there. Okay, so that's what. Tell your mom and dad, I will be careful crossing the street. It's, you know, they would say they'll worry about terrorists, and say, don't worry about terrorists. Pray for the traffic.
Similar question on that. So are there going to be like a lot of these crosswalks we're going to be able to use that are?
A lot of crosswalks.
Are
It's
they
probably a little
crosswalks?
bit of an exaggeration.
Now, is that any safer than crossing?
There's a flyover, like for example, right by, there's a flyover, there are flyovers. But of course, people think, I don't want to walk all the way down to the flyover. All these Jordanians are crossing here in the traffic, right? So you want to be, just be really careful. Yeah. All right. Jaron, you want to add any?
Yeah, one time I was overambitious about my street crossing ability, which I did not think was the thing you could be overambitious about. And this was on like a Thursday night, so the beginning of the weekend, and I was trapped on a median for quite some time because I got across the first half of the street, and then I realized that the other direction of traffic was much more difficult to cross. So I guess I'm gonna hang out here for a while, and I was there for a good 10 or 15 minutes. It was a really long time to have people like say hi to you as they drive by. Yeah, and like I think that I was like not super inappropriately confident in my street crossing ability. Like I'm generally pretty good at crossing the street. Like in terms of elementary skills, I graduated in that one. So just so you know, it's like it can be kind of hard to cross the street at times, and yeah, that was just a story to make you feel better about making fun of me. I don't know. That's my life.
So, this was the story. so 1989, of course.
Also,
Actually, no. So this was just me. I left 20 passports or so in a bag, in the van, while we went snorkeling, students and our family. Nice day on the beach, we're coming home, and we see this guy tear past us, and two other guys running after him, And I mean, this is not like they're sort of chasing him. This is like, looks like life or death, right? And they catch this guy and they start beating him mercilessly. I mean, beating him mercilessly. And we're like, oh, stop him, And then we get to the van and the window is broken. And we realize, somebody tells us, the guy just broke into the van, but the secret police chased him off. We're like, let me at him, So it's really Israel-Palestine that is far more the security area that's problematic as far as theft and those kinds of things go. Yeah.
I had something to add, maybe to do with packing, maybe some ideas for people at this point. That'd be helpful.
What was that?
So as far as clothing goes,
It's open mic night. Anybody else? Right?
yeah. So as far as like clothing goes, you have the guidelines from the Jerusalem Center, and we talked about that with Professor Curl. I realized that some of you might be wondering like what kind of occasions you'll have to be prepared for. So in terms of like the most formal register, I don't think there will be anything that you'll do that your church clothing won't be formal enough for, unless you have like some like state functions that you've been invited to.
It has happened.
Unlikely, but a great thing to know is that unless you think that's going to be really likely and you don't trust yourself to buy new clothing, it's going to be pretty cheap to get new clothing in Jordan. I brought more clothing than I needed, and I'm actually going to try and bring very little this time because, and you all should know this, that shopping for clothes in Jordan is super fun. If any of you like thrift shopping or like getting like a deal on clothing, best place ever. They don't have like a thrift shop, they have a city block called Souk al-Juma, and you can just go and get like crazy deals on super nice clothes. And I didn't realize they were nice at the time, I just thought it was like crazy deals on cheap clothes. And I've realized since then that it was like some of the nicer sweaters that I own are from, I got like 2 dinar, which is like $3. I got like Irish cable knit wool sweater. It's awesome.
There were BYU t-shirts for sale.
Yeah, you also see lots of people wearing like BYU or EFY clothes. Like it was totally, we have yet to figure out what happened. We have like talked to so many people. There's a guy working at the gas station next to the apartment the guys were living in, and he was wearing like girls camp 2011. Like Aspen Grove or something, and we didn't figure out why he was wearing this. We're like, do you know what that says? And he's like, no. We were like, we're not even sure what it says, to be honest. It says so many things to us. But on the formal end, your church clothes will be fine. Day to day, we've like kind of talked about that. It's gonna be pretty warm, but not unbearably hot when you get there. Some of you will like wish that you could wear shorts, and some of you will be like, this is fine. And as it goes on, depending on what kind of a winter we're having, there might be like slightly colder rain and weather that you can like start to wear sweaters and jackets in as you go on. Some of the activities that will be happening.
But let me just say about cold, pack warm clothing, because you will be so cold. You can't believe that you're gonna be cold. But you want to bring layers of warm clothing.
And so like give you some idea of what I'm going to pack. I thought this might be helpful to like let you all know. I will be packing a couple, like this outfit will probably be in like this top part for church stuff. to make sure I can get a blazer in there. And I will pack very little like layers for my top because I'm confident in my ability to find jackets and sweaters that I like there, and those take up a lot of space. I'll be packing shoes, the shoes that I need because my shoe size is not available in that region of the world, or in Europe, anywhere.
With shoes, are we good with just like tennis shoes, or do you have recommendations for those?
So most of the time, like just shoes that you feel comfortable walking in are gonna be fine. There's a couple of situations, what image it? Plan on that. So probably gonna want like sandals or something else that you feel comfortable being in water in. Because one of the activities is going up like a canyon, like that you would find like in southern Utah, that has a river flowing through it. So and there's like a waterfall and stuff. And it was one of my favorite activities. And I wore sandals for it. Some other people like just went and bought like $1 or $2 like water shoes that are basically like tight-fitting Crocs that were super cool looking, but they did not have them in my size, fortunately. So be aware of that. And so the kind of shoes that I'm going to have, I'm going to wear shoes that I'm comfortable. I'm going to bring one pair of shoes that I'm comfortable hiking in because of things like Petra. And
But a good running shoe is fine.
yeah, running shoes are fine for people. I'm gonna bring a pair of like athletic shoes that I'm fine playing sports in and working out in. I'm gonna bring a pair of sandals and then probably just like maybe another pair of everyday shoes or nicer shoes that I'll wear should the occasion require. And I think that I generally overpack as far as shoe goes. Just full disclosure. I'll be bringing a swimsuit that will actually, I'm just going to make sure that my exercise shorts that I'm bringing are fine to wear for swimming, because there's the snorkeling and also for the people going on the Palestine-Israel portion, there's going to be a number of water activities. I will not be bringing any shorts.
Dead Sea, also Dead Sea.
No, Dead Sea is some place that you'll have to have a swimming.
Which you'll hate, but it's
birds.
What size shoe do you wear so we can plan?
I
So we know
wear
the
a
upper limit.
14 or 15.
Size 12, you're gonna find size 12?
That sounds like it's close to the upper limit. My like conversion on that is not super there. I think the highest they go is a 42 or 44 European sizing. I don't know. If you know what you are. Yeah, so I have a friend in a shoe shop and he was like always trying to like get me a shoe. And I was like, I'm telling you, you don't have my size. Like, what could it be? 44? I was like, no, like a 49. He was like, no, okay. It's awkward for all of us. Still good friends though. Casey.
So for girls, for swimsuits, is there different, like are normal swimsuits fine or is it more strict?
So look,
you want to go as conservative as you can.
so Jerusalem Center has guidelines on it. I believe what the Jerusalem Center says is one piece, and they, like, you should be wearing shorts like as you go. Though I think it says that like while you're swimming, you don't have to be wearing the shorts.
But it has to be one piece, it can't be like a
Tanky? I don't think so.
Oh, really? Because I just pictures of wearing it, but maybe I should
Well,
say
prostates.
that.
Wear a t-shirt and shorts or something, and I don't know, sit it down. We're talking about, I mean, the one chance you have in Palestine and Israel, the option you have, we'll see if we can get to swim at the Sea of Galilee. It's really, we didn't get to this year. You can't get there in time. You have to be out, anyway. You're never back to base in time. You know, you have to be back by like 4 o'clock. And but we did have a little bit of beach time in Tel Aviv, and people put on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and ran out and played in the waves. And we had phenomenal weather too. So you'll probably, the last group that went, it snowed and it was this high, and they walked uphill to church in both ways. Actually, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So those are like thoughts as far as packing goes. I think that you're generally going to have a pretty easy time finding like cheap clothes if you need them.
Cool clothes. I got to get Lynn to bring. She couldn't come tonight, but they've got these way cool pants that are for so cheap from
Yeah.
Sri Lanka.
You can get women's vests like me. So just for the men not wearing them until they get home. But I did have an interesting experience. A number of like Jordanian students and Arab students have commented on like, yeah, we can always like tell like American tourists because they look awful. Like they're just dressed very poorly. And I like very strongly encourage you to keep the like dress code and to dress modestly. I think that you'll be surprised how much people appreciate you like continuing to take care of your appearance. It's actually more than when I'm here. So like a number of the speaking partners were like, Sharon, this is like, thank you for not looking awful every day. I was like, wow, that is, I think, a compliment. Like every other day. Thanks. Yeah, so questions on like things to pack in terms of clothing or other stuff?
What's the coldest weather we should prepare for?
It's not a matter of temperature, it's a matter of that your apartment won't be very warm.
Okay.
And so if you can't get warm in your apartment, you never get warm the whole day. So, you know, having some wool socks and some layers to put on really makes you feel a lot better about life.
Yeah, probably one of the coldest like experiences for me was when we were in Wadi Rum and like we're like glamping, which is glamorous camping for those of you who are not initiated.
It was pretty glamorous too.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just stay here the whole semester. My goodness. And so I was like wearing wool socks, like with my sandals, just to keep it loose. But I don't think it ever got below freezing for us while we were there. Like definitely didn't get below freezing. I think that it got to a point where it would have been uncomfortable had it been raining. We did not have as much rain as it normally would be. So maybe that's something to be in mind if like you don't have stuff that you're comfortable wearing when it's raining. Like think about that. Yeah. There was another question over here somewhere.
Well, I do have one. So for like checking our bags, do you normally just take one like check bag and then like a carry-on, or do you like, what's the norm for?
I think our average was one checked bag and one carry-on. I took
Going, but coming back,
Yeah.
there were a lot of people who had to buy an extra bag to get their olive wood home.
all of their olive wood and sweaters. Yeah, so I was like, I'm like trying as hard as I can to underpack so that because like I know I'm gonna bring tons of stuff home, and that But I checked 2 bags going there, and it was a pretty big mistake. And it was kind of because I was like, well, will I be able to like find clothes that work for me? And that wasn't a huge issue. I'm glad like
He had his knives too.
had to pack my kitchen stuff, which was almost an issue, but we got through that.
That's probably a good story to talk about, though.
What?
It's probably a good story to talk about, though.
What should we not take?
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard to get in large amounts of prescription.
Well, we
Like,
talked about the
we'll see.
prescription stuff.
Yeah, so like prescription stuff is kind of a separate issue, and like have to look at the security stuff for that. For people leaving through the Tel Aviv airport, there are like at best like delay concerns relating to like Arabic paraphernalia. So particularly having like copies of the Quran in Arabic, though my like thinking ahead of that, if you have friends like going home before the Palestine-Israel portion, it would behoove you to ask them to take stuff back for you.
But don't expect them to have
Yeah.
room for it. So.
Yeah, so this is like kind
Don't
of
take,
the,
don't take, do the Quran electronically, okay? Just don't do Quran smuggling.
Yeah, and I like started to look a little bit into shipping prices because I was a little concerned about my capacity. I did not end up sending anything by mail or shipping or anything, but I think that at least as long as we're in a group, it'd probably be good to think about like other ways to deal with, like if you really want to have like pro-Palestine paraphernalia and that you like buy there and try and take out through the Tel Aviv airport. A number of my friends living in Palestine, not from the program, but that I became friends with, told me that they like consistently had issues that were stricter in terms of what they could take out than their Palestinian friends because they were seen as like white activists. So these were like Americans living in Palestine, like doing whatever, and they like tried to leave with like a kufiyeh, and they would like have it confiscated or they'd have to like be interrogated or whatever. And then every time that they went through this process, they would have like stricter
And it's
security
random.
protocols.
It's random. Some people walk through there, their stuff doesn't even get, and other people get strip searched.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I worked pretty hard on my charming but clueless tourist persona, which is not that far from my regular persona, just more charming. And I like laid it on thick when I was going out that Tel Aviv airport. I did not want to deal with security issues, and it went really well. I don't know if I told you about this, that they put me into like the special like no security line. They're like, I was like, I didn't put my bag or something. Like, nah, just go. And I was like, shoes, and like, go. I'm like, okay. And that was what. So I was the spokesperson for a group leaving the country. There's like two groups that went, and then they're like, we need a spokesperson. Like, I will do this. I feel very confident in this persona. And it went well. So
The guy who went through living hell had lots of camera equipment. And they admit, this was the wrong, I mean, this guy's dad's an admiral, okay? I mean, he could, you know, yeah. You know,
Fun
Ben.
stories about that.
Ben, there couldn't be a less threatening person than Ben for,
For Israel.
For the state of Israel.
For Israel,
Yeah, and, not that he's, not that he's a rabid, Zionist or anything like that, but he understands the security needs of Israel, right? I mean, he's a guy who gets it, and he got so he had. He went through hell with his equipment. They messed with his hard drives. It was so. If you're like hardcore photographer and we packing, 20 lenses and things like that, just expect that the Israelis might suspect that you are up to no good. Okay, so just so you know, you're forewarned. Yeah.
Talk to me about this, which I usually carry all the time.
Put that in your luggage and you should be fine.
Okay, even for like crossing Israel borders, you mentioned knives.
Well,
problems
he had like sabers.
They were not lightsabers.
They are like sabers, yes.
I had a roll of chef's knives, and have I told this story to all of you? I feel like I have.
You have.
Yeah, so the Jordanian side was like, that's totally not okay, and the Israeli side was like, he's a chef. Yeah, well, I told them I'm a chef.
When I saw the knives, I thought, I'm leaving him. There's no way we're going to ever see him again. I said, sometimes you have to cut your losses.
I walked out, I was like, little did they know, this was my Jordanian Irish sweater. Good luck. My green Jordanian Lucky Irish sweater. Other questions?
We better wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah.
But what we do want you to do.
Oh, I was just gonna ask a cell phone question again.
Cell phone question. Okay, so this is really, really important that we all get on the same plan. Because we had people who got there early. What did we use last time?
Umnia?
Umnia. And we'll let you know, but don't get to Jordan and just kind of like go out, charge out, and get yourself a cell phone plan without having instructions on.
So we should get one in Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when we get
get
there.
one in Jordan. And it's a very good idea for you to have an unlocked smartphone. Everybody, I mean, smartphones plans were so cheap, so cheap.
Like buy like gigabytes of data
The
for like
resources,
cents.
being able to have a smartphone for just looking up stuff, texting, whatever, all kinds of really legitimate language learning purposes. I highly, highly recommend coming with an unlocked smartphone.
So just, do we freeze our plans at home? Like, is there a way to do that?
That's what I do, I ice mine, yeah.
Okay. And you just call them and they do that?
When
Yeah.
you say unlocked, we're not talking about like jailbreaking an iPhone.
No, you can
You
do
just
it
gotta
through
have
service,
you gotta have a phone that you can use a local chip there, so if you leave here and it's, Verizon or whatever, and Verizon only, then you're gonna have, trouble. So try and arrange with your provider to get it unlocked before you.
Are we getting times from Zane or?
Omnia is who we used last time.
Okay.
We'll probably will again. I'll confirm when I'm on the ground. If it turns out we get on the ground and there's like, Zane has a way better new plan, then we'll say, ixnay on the Omnia. So, okay, I just wanted to talk about spouses real quick. So the spouses who are not BYU students, in order to sign up for the program, you end up with a BYU ID, right? And you use that BYU ID on My BYU to register for the Mesa class. Did you have any luck?
Yeah, it was successful.
Yeah, so Jenna's all good. So what that requires is that you are actually accepted. And a number of the spouses still have ecclesiastical endorsement hold up. So rattle your bishop's cage, and yeah.
Random question, do they use the BYU ID names to do checkoffs or anything? I still have my maiden name on my ID, but I have my married name on everything else.
It's so common.
Okay.
I'll bet half or more of the spouses do.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, one last question. I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but I've tried to register for classes, and the only one that we have access to is the Mesa one.
The Mesa class is the only one that is posted
Okay,
so far.
sweet.
The dean, I think, he sent the other day. Anyway, the other ones haven't shown yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Come next week, our last week. You're welcome to bring cookies. Ash is okay too. But bring questions, okay? We'll be talking about.
Any questions for the class?
More.
I assume we're going to use this throughout the program.
Yeah.
How's things going?